Hey, welcome back. I'd like to talk today about the first book written in the New Testament, the book of James. Chapter 1, he's talking about trials, and we all have those constantly. So let's jump right in and talk about that, and I'll talk about some personal stories myself that hopefully will make you feel a little bit better about why we go through trials. But James 1 says, chapter 1, verse 2, consider it pure joy, my brothers, when you encounter trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Allow perseverance to finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. So I find it hard to consider it joy, and I'm sure you do too, when you encounter various trials or problems in life. And so I think it's pretty deep that we have to dig to find out why that God would want us to find it, consider it joy. And I think what that answer is that because kind of like if you're working out at the gym, it's painful, but the end result is you get muscle mass. So it's kind of like spiritually speaking in life, when you have trials and resistance, the joy of that is knowing that it causes you to be more mature and strengthens your faith. But I just want to share a few stories with you here. 2011, 2010, 2011, somewhere thereabouts, I was working with a crew that I'd lost my job and was working construction with a crew, and money was tight at the time, and I didn't know, if I was going to make it. And the boss forgot to call me. He'd forget to call me and have me to come into work. So I thought, I can't live like that. So I was forced to go out on my own, and that was the best thing that ever happened, because I had 7 to 8 great years of great customers, and I was forced to make decisions on my own about number one, dealing with the customer, so customer relations, doing the math and the figuring of materials and supplies and estimates. So I just had to dive right in and do it all, and it was the best thing that ever happened. And I got to choose and pick who I worked with. The Bible talks about not being unequally yoked. A lot of people like to apply that to marriage only, but I believe that's also in business dealings. So I worked with some great people, got to pick some great people to work with, and had 7 years of great success until I went full-time at my current job. But how that applies to this is because I didn't know if I was going to work tomorrow. I didn't know where the next dollar was coming from, and I had to depend on God. And the funny story about that was, I had gotten a job in Knoxville and was having to drive to Knoxville, and my truck didn't get good gas mileage, so I was trying to sell it. It's really good condition. Thought, I don't need this anymore. I'm going to be out of construction business. And had people look at it, and nobody ever bought it. And I thought, why? Why, God, is nobody buying my truck? Well, that predates what I just told you before, sort of. Little did I know I would need that truck for my own personal business, to haul supplies and tools and that sort of thing. See, God saw that before I did. And all I could see was the problem I had, and God saw what the solution was going to be, and I had no idea. So also in 2016, Sonia and she became pregnant with what we considered our miracle baby. Just out of the blue, we never thought it. She was told for years she could never, get pregnant, have kids. And so we were immediately in love with this baby girl who was developing in her mommy's belly. And anyway, she passed away before she was born, and we were completely devastated. And asking God why, You know, there's people out there who have babies and don't want them and mistreat them, and they have multiples and they don't care and love them. And we were like, why, God, do we not have our baby that we would love to take care of and love? But through that trial and tribulation, a ministry grew out of that, to where we now minister to other people who have been through the same situation. We have a little gift bag that we give them with a book and certain things in there that applies to their grieving process. So from that bad situation that we went through, sprouted this little ministry where we were able to help other people who had been through the same situation. Sonia, as you know, just nearly died of COVID pneumonia this past September, and that was probably the biggest trial I've ever been through, and God brought me to my knees. I found it hard to rejoice in that, but as I was dependent upon God, and as I turned everything over to Him and completely had faith, I started to see things turn around, and I started to witness before my eyes the miracle that God was doing in her life. And that has made me stronger spiritually than I ever have been before. So in retrospect, I see God's plan, and I understand why I went through that tribulation. My dad got cancer a couple of years ago. That was a very sad, uncertain time for us. We didn't know. He was given 3 weeks to live. Miraculously, God intervened. He's still with us today, leukemia free. You know, we just have to learn to depend on God and know that trials bring about growth. We don't always get what we want. God never promises that. If anybody tells you that, they're lying. I want to tell you about another situation that just came up moments ago. Dad still goes to Vanderbilt for treatments, or not really treatments, but for visits ever so often. And he doesn't like to travel in heavy traffic, and he always has somebody to take him down there, whether it's me and my wife or my sisters. He's just intimidated by traffic. So today, my sister was sick and couldn't take him. It was his time to go today. And I have an appointment tomorrow with Sonia. You know, we had our own thing going on, and long story short, he was forced to take it upon himself to get out of his comfort zone and venture out into Nashville on his own. So, and as I told him what my video was about today, I said, remember, through trials and tribulations, God is causing growth. So at one point you will look back and rejoice on that. Just remember that we tend to see, from our perspective, a very small speck of the big picture. God sees the big picture. He sees the future. He sees the role you're playing in that. And we just see a little tiny speck of that. And God sees the big picture, and one day we will. Remember that God has a plan. It may seem hopeless right now from your current perspective, but soon you'll see and you'll understand. I want to share a picture with you. This picture here, this ugly, scared minion, it looks like he's in a very dark place. But when you pan out and you see the full picture, kind of like God sees our full picture, you see that it's very beautiful. So keep that in mind today as you go about life and you're going through trials and trouble. Just know that God knows. He knows you're there, and He gives you the strength to get through it. And just try to learn to embrace that and see that something's going to come from it that's going to be good and productive. Have a great week. Until next time, God bless.